Alex walked out of the alchemy hall at around 10 p.m. He had managed to make 8 mortal-grade QI improvement pills. Do I go sell them now? Or should I register one at the disciple hall first? He stopped for a moment to decide. To take the test to become an intersect disciple, the first requirement was 10 different mortal-grade pill. This meant he had to somehow find 10 different recipes and create a mortal grade for each of them. Every time he made one, he would have a chance to register them as one of his 10 pills. Once he made 10 pills, he would be given the opportunity to become an intersect disciple. He didn't, however, hear anyone talk about what the test was to become an intersect disciple, however. After more than a second of contemplation, he decided to go to the disciple hall. Walking along the festival like Valley Road, he quickly reached the black ranking rock. He hadn't come here since getting his nameplate the first day. When he saw his name that time, it was dead last in the ranking. He wondered where he was now. It didn't take him more than a few minutes to find his name. However, he was happy it even took him that long. The total names on the list were 4,883. His name was on the 4,545th ranking. He had earned more than 300 plus disciples. Most of them were probably newcomers like him, but just the fact that he got that ranking made him happy. He walked over to the other side and checked his name there. However, on this site, his name was near the last place. From what he could infer, he didn't have any alchemy achievement at the moment. He walked into the disciple hall and quickly got into a line. When his turn came along, he handed the intersect disciple working there the 10% harmony pill. "I wish to register this pill," he said. The disciple took the pill and used a pill tester to check the harmony. After confirming that he had indeed brought out a mortal grade pill, the disciple took up a medallion and placed it on his forehead. Since the medallion is also part of the sect running formation, I wonder if he is checking for something. Alex was intrigued. The disciple was indeed checking for something. He was checking Alex's purchase history at the sect market. Anything bought and sold from the official stalls where the elder stayed was recorded in the sect running formation. The disciple was checking if the pill Alex brought in matched what he had bought in the sect. This was a way of finding out if the disciple had indeed made the pill or not. Another thing he was checking was also the pill room usage by Alex. Once he found that Alex had in fact bought the items for the pill the day before and had just gone into a pill room about 3 hours ago, he registered the pill under Alex's name. The disciple then handed back Alex's nameplate, but kept the pill. Alex knew they kept the pill brought for registering, which was why he decided to use the lowest harmony pill in the first place. Once he was done, he walked out and checked the alchemy achievement rankings again. His name had somehow jumped from the 4,800 seconds to 4,234. Wow. Does that mean almost 600 outer sect disciple had yet to succeed in making a pill? He left and went to the sect market. He arrived there in less than 5 minutes. He got in a line and waited for his turn at one of the sect stalls. He walked up and put out all the remaining 7 pills to sell them. "I wish to sell these, elder," he said to the elder working in the stall. This was the same bald elder with wrinkles and streaks of white on his hair and beard. The elder took the pill bottles and checked the pills inside. Once he confirmed they were indeed mortal-grade pills, he took out a pill tester and tested them. 12%, 12%, 12%, 14%, 15%, 15%, and 16%. The elder calculated and said, "You can sell these for 226 points. 226? But elder, I bought 7 sets of ingredients for 420 points, so why are the pills selling for half the price of the ingredients?" He was confused. Secondly, if we don't sell the pills for fewer points, a skilled disciple could use just 60 points to buy a set of ingredients, sell the pill for 60 points, then buy another set, and sell another pill, and on and on. This way, the sect will soon go into a points crisis. This way, the sect can run properly, without having to worry about the same 60 points clearing the entire sect garden. "So, do you want the points or not?" the elder asked. Alex sighed and said, "Yes, I do, elder." He handed the elder his nameplate. "You want to buy anything?" the elder asked. Alex wanted to, but he had his own idea about what he needed to do. "No, thank you." He rejected the offer. The elder handed him his nameplate back with the 226 points. Alex walked out of the market and walked along the night streets. He didn't need to become an aide anymore, as he could make pills himself. What he needed now was contribution points to buy the alchemy ingredients. And from his experience, the best way to earn contribution points was by selling Monster Corpse's cores and materials. so the first thing on his agenda was to go out and kill some monsters. And to kill monsters easily and successfully, he needed to learn some battle techniques. Alex made his way to the sect library. At the entrance, he showed his nameplate to the attending elder and walked in. He didn't have a lot of contribution points, so the best he could get was a low-tier mortal grade technique. He had an hour to look through the techniques, but it didn't take him that long this time. Very soon he found a sword-related technique called Smiting Blade. It cost only 200 contribution points, so he happily took it. For comparison, the Flame Mastery Scripture would have cost him about 800 contribution points. Mortal grade techniques cost between 100 and 1,000 contribution points, while the highest Earth grade technique Alex had seen previously was 4,000 points. There might have been some that cost even more. Alex had tried to read the books in the library, but realized they wouldn't open for some reason. So, he walked out of the library with the book in hand. He handed it to the elder, along with the nameplate. The elder handed it to him and reminded him to return the book in 7 days. Alex also returned the Flame Mastery Scripture at the same time, as he didn't need it anymore. He went to a quiet place and took out the book. Under the lantern's light, he started reading it. He didn't understand what the book really said, but when he finished it, he got a notification. He opened the description of the technique. Smiting Blade. Grade, Mortal. Infuse QI into the blade to increase its penetrating power. All right, time to train now, he said as he looked at his new technique's description. He needed to look for a place to train this technique now, and there was no place better for this in the sect than the training hall. Alex located the training hall a few distances away. Although it was called a hall, it was just a massive open field. He could see a few dozens of disciples training their battle techniques. Some were shooting out arrows, some were using a sword, some threw fire from their hand, while some just ran around a lot making weird moves. All of these disciples were far away from each other, so there was no way they could hamper each other's progress. There were about a few hundred wooden posts in the field denoting the place for training. Alex walked up to one of the posts that were far away from any disciple. He looked at the carving on the surface of the post and places his nameplate there. As soon as he did that, about a few meters away from him, the ground opened up and a wooden puppet came out. The puppet was what the disciples trained their techniques on. Similar to the alchemy room, the training hall too took 5 contribution points per hour, so he needed to get on with it. He brought out his steel sword and activated focus mode. Once everything slowed down, he closed his eyes and tried to feel his QI. This was too easy for him at this point. He thought of the new technique, and the QI started moving through his meridian. This was the first time, so it was going to take longer to complete the travel through the new path. It slowly moved all over his body and reached his hands. However, instead of diffusing from his hands, it instead traveled from his palm to the hilt of the sword. The QI felt some difficulty in entering the hilt but still managed to enter it at last. The QI had visibly entered the sword hilt as Alex saw the hilt's color change to a slight yellowish hue. The color then traveled up the sword as it crossed the crossguard, moved along the blade, and stopped at the tip. His QI has trouble moving along the entirety of the sword but succeeded in it at last. Now the sword was glowing a mild yellow. I wonder if the QI is having difficulty because it's a metal object, Alex wondered. Now that he has successfully activated his smiting blade technique, it was time to test how good it was. He held the sword in a fighting stance and pounced forward to cut the puppet. Bam! A massive cut appeared on the puppet where Alex had just cut it. The sword had stopped glowing yellow as he stopped the flow of QI. He looked back at the wooden post as a few words appeared on it. He smiled. His attack just now had been equivalent to a bone-tempering First Realm cultivator's normal strike. That meant his new battle technique improved his damage by 1 realm's worth. Adding to the fact that this 1 realm was an entire minor realm jump, the battle technique returned its worth twice over. He decided to attack once more. Once more, he did the same damage as a bone-tempering First Realm cultivator. Muscle-tempering 8th realm. Huh? Why is my damage lower than my actual cultivation base? What is going on? He was very much confused. He tried attacking the puppet with his bare hands. Muscle-tempering 9th realm. Wait, so I do more damage with my fists than I do with the sword. What sort of garbage was I handed during the tutorial? Alex couldn't believe what he was saying. Is this the game's way of balancing things out? giving me ultra-good talents and techniques, but then giving me trash pills that give 10 QI, or a sword that does less damage than my fists. Alex didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He picked up his sword once more. The puppets were part of the sect running formation and had self-mending techniques, so they were back to perfect condition once more. He infused QI into the sword once more and started attacking. Alex woke up in his cottage at nearly 7 a.m. in morning. He had stopped training 2 hours later last night and come back to the cottage to cultivate. He had only cultivated for 4 or so hours, but that was enough. Breakthrough. With all the QI he had accumulated throughout the last few days, he had enough to break through to the next minor realm. The requirement for bone tempering second realm was 150,000 QI now. He logged out of the game for now. He had to go hunt some monsters today, so he quickly had his breakfast and returned to the game. He went to the disciple hall and requested leave from the sect for 3 days. Once it was approved, he walked out of the sect and went to a random tavern near the eastern gate. He purchased a room for 3 days and logged out from there. He went to have his lunch with his roommates. Today was Sunday, and there were no classes for anyone. Alex never asked them questions about their cultivations or talents in the game. He felt that if he was to keep secrets from them, it was only fair he didn't inquire answers from them. After finishing their lunches, everyone returned to their room and logged into the game. Alex opened his eyes in the tavern. He walked out of the city through the eastern gate and entered the forest on the southern side of the city. He walked slowly in the forest, trying not to miss any alchemy ingredients. Along the way, he found a few different ingredients, including a dwarf berry. This dwarf berry was quite hidden in the bushes and would be unnoticeable if not for his focus mode enhancing his senses. He was constantly turning on and off his focus mode so as to not miss anything. He walked along a bit more, keeping any ingredients he found before he met a monster. It was a skin-tempering realm monster, so he didn't even bother using any special technique. He just lunged at it and gave it a good pounding on its head. Is that an alchemy ingredient as well? Alex wondered. To think the monster would drop urine as a loot. After selling the corpses last time, he had come to find out that the monster cores and materials were actually alchemy ingredients. So he had decided he wouldn't sell it that easily this time. He continued walking as he went deeper and deeper into the forest. He found many different alchemy ingredients and killed quite a few monsters as well. Some dropped cores, some dropped materials, sometimes both. However, killing monsters never dropped weapons or armors like in other games. Well, eternal cultivation wasn't like other games. He walked on for quite a lot of time, but couldn't find any monsters that could make him use more than just one slash of his casual sword swing. Finally, after searching around for the whole day, he found a muscle-tempering 8th realm monster that didn't die to a sword swing. Alright, time to try my new technique on an actual enemy. The monster was a feline monster with patches of cloud-like design on its body. With him currently at the 1st realm of bone tempering, this situation was the equivalent of when he fought a muscle-tempering 3rd realm earth snake as a muscle-tempering 6th realm cultivator. The leopard had seen him approaching and was starting to crouch, ready to attack. Alex also got into his attack stance as well. He held the steel sword with both of his hands to the side, kept both of his feet wide, and took a deep breath. He went into focus mode. The leopard jumped. It was about 10 meters away from Alex, but it was going to cross the entire distance in a single jump. The jump felt slow to Alex, but not as slow as everything else around him. He slowly moved his QI around and started infusing it into the sword. The sword showed some resistance to his QI, but quickly accepted it. Just when the leopard was 2 meters away from him, Alex swung his sword. Due to both of them being at similar cultivation, their speed wasn't very far off. However, because Alex was still ahead, his sword reached the leopard's head before the leopard's claws could reach his. Chop. In a single smooth sweep, the leopard's head came off its body. Alex looked both surprised and happy. He remembered when he had such a hard time with the snake, and now he could kill this monster with just a single strike. Even though Smiting Blade was a mortal grade technique, it was still a battle technique nonetheless. I wonder how strong my attacks would be if my sword was anything but a mortal grade. Alex was now out of focus mode. He kept the cloud leopard's body into his inventory and walked off. It was getting dark, so he returned back. He walked into the city without having to pay 2 silvers anymore. His nameplate was now a form of identification that the city guard accepted. He got into his tavern room and logged out. He called his parents again, waiting for his roommates to log out of the game. Once they logged out, he went to have his dinner and got back to the room. Once again, he logged back into the game. He cultivated inside the tavern room for a few minutes to get back what QI he had lost during the day's hunt. Once he was ready, he walked out of the city. This time, he wouldn't return until the sun came up. Alex was inside the jungle in the dead of night. The moon was shining brightly in the sky. For some reason, the moon always shined brightly in the sky. The moon never went past being a half moon. It changed its states between a full moon, half moon, and in between. So, he never had to worry about the night being dark in the game. He didn't know if it was an intentional change from the developers, or they just wanted to let the players know this world was not their own. But the moon didn't matter to him anymore. He could see a lot better at nighttime now that he was a cultivator. Especially when he went into focus mode, his vision would amplify as well, letting him see the most minute of things in bright light, even in the darkest of caves. He realized that nighttime had way more monsters than the daytime. Most of the monsters seemed to only come out during nighttime, and he had a great time hunting them. He wasn't particularly happy about the hunt or fascinated with killing. He was just happy when he thought about how many points he could get from these monsters. Time slowly went by while he kept finding new materials and encountering quite a few monsters. It was about 2 a.m. at night when he suddenly heard something. Rustle, rustle. He immediately went into focus mode and started looking around to see if he could find what was making the noise. Time was slowed down, so he saw a bunch of leaves hanging from a branch on a tree move unnaturally. He kept looking as he waited for a monster to appear from behind it. As the leaves parted to show what was behind them, he was surprised. The thing making the rustling noises was actually a pair of females. He looked at them with wide eyes. While they also seemed to be surprised to find him, they both seemed to be around 20 years old and held a small, thin sword in their hand. They were both beautiful girls, but one just seemed infinitely more beautiful than the other. Alex was still in his focus mode. He quickly looked at the less beautiful girl. She was wearing a yellow robe with blue linings around the robe. Her thin sword looked simple and made of steel. There was a slight shine to it, but it wasn't very much. The other girl, on the other hand, was something else. She was probably the most beautiful person he had seen in real life or in game. She was wearing a similar robe to the first girl, with yellow all over it. However, unlike the blue linings, this robe had red linings on it. She had flowing black hair that shined with a hint of blue in the moonlight. The sword she was holding looked like a crystal sword and was shining with a blue hue to it. Even without the focus mode, one could see the shining from the sword. Alex looked at his own steel sword in hand and felt like laughing at the dull blade. He turned off his focus mode, still surprised at seeing peoples in the forest at 2 a.m. "Hello," he greeted. The girl with the blue linings looked at him and asked, "A disciple from the Hongwu sect?" "What are you doing here?" she practically demanded the answer. Alex frowned a little, but still chose to answer, "I'm here to hunt monsters," he said. "What monster could you possibly want to hunt in the middle of the night?" the girl asked once more. "Mong mong," the other girl said, clearly disapproving of the rude tone in her voice. "I'm a sorry senior sister." The blue linings girl immediately apologized to her senior sister. The senior sister looked towards Alex and asked, "Are you looking for any specific monster, fellow Taoist?" "Do you require our help?" she asked. Her tone was polite as she asked her question with a smile. Alex looked at the junior sister with a bit of focus and was shocked. Bone tempering 7th realm. The girl was already in the 7th realm of bone tempering. That was 6 realms higher than his own. Judging from her tone, her senior sister must be stronger than her. He slowly looked at the senior sister. His already wide eyes became even wider. Mind tempering 5th realm. Holy shte, he couldn't help but cuss. This was the highest cultivation he had seen on someone so young. In fact, this was the highest non-hidden cultivation he had seen yet in the game. To reach her level, he would have to cross the entire bone tempering realm, the organ tempering realm, and the meridian tempering realm. He wondered how much QI that took. The girl was 5 realms away from becoming a cultivator in the true realms. The girl looked at him with a weird look, and he realized he hadn't answered her question yet. "Find updates on Enro, Velbin. I am just hunting random monsters and am not looking for anything specific. So thank you for your offer, but I will have to decline it." He tried to say no as politely as he could. This girl could probably kill him if she wanted to. She didn't seem that type of girl, however. Very well then, fellow Taoist. We shall take our leave. The girl turned around and walked off. The other girl also quickly followed behind her, not giving Alex another glance. It took a while before Alex was back in his usual mindset. He walked on from where he was and started looking for the ingredients and the monsters once more. Slowly, time passed by as he hunted the monsters throughout the entire night. The first rays of sunlight were scattered through the forest from the east. It was about time to leave the forest and log out of the game. The morning had arrived, and his first day of the 3-day leave was over. Nothing of significance had happened the entire night, aside from meeting different people in the forest. Over the course of the night, he had met a few more people after the 2 female cultivators. Most of them had the same yellow robe on them, but none had the red linings like the beautiful girl, only green or blue linings. He did meet a few disciples from Hongwu sect, but they seemed to be inner sect disciples, so he didn't talk a lot to them besides the casual greetings. He realized that monsters were active during the nighttime a lot more than daytime, so most of the people that wanted to hunt the monster only visited the forest during the night. Now that it was nearly 7 a.m., Alex walked out of the forest and went to the city. Once he reached his room, the tavern, he logged out. After breakfast, he decided to study instead of going back into the game. There was nothing to do in the game at this time, so it was better to just study. At 11 a.m., he went to his class. Today was a computer science class, and he really enjoyed this class. There was only one course he took this semester that didn't have either of his 3 roommates, so most of these classes he just sat with them. After the classes were over, he ate his afternoon lunch and went back to his room. Instead of going back into the game, however, he just started doing his homework from his classes. He had wanted to do it in the morning, but there was nothing to do right now. If he went back in the game, he would have nothing to do there. He couldn't go to the forest only to return a bit more than 2 hours later just to log out. Rather, he would do his work now, eat his dinner, and then go into the game. After finishing the homework, he decided to watch some online videos to pass his time. The site he visited regularly was now starting to recommend eternal cultivation videos on its own. I haven't even searched for anything related to the game on this site, and it's somehow recommending videos related to it. Is this because the search engine and the video site are owned by the same company? He talked to himself. He was about to reload the page when he saw the word best out of the corner of his eyes. He stopped and read the title of the video. Exclusive interview with the best player in eternal cultivation. The thumbnail was a massive best test covering the face of the player, while the interviewer looked very shocked with comically large eyes. The best? Alex was intrigued. His curiosity took the better of him as he clicked on the video. The video opened with the interviewer talking to the viewers, hyping them up, saying how they were the first channel to find the best player in eternal cultivation. This player has been playing this game since day 0 and has remained hidden the entire time he was in the game. The interviewer said, however, today he has agreed to have us take an interview of him and reveal himself to the world through our channel. The interviewer kept talking about how his channel was the best for doing this. Now, everyone, please welcome Mr. Connor Root. The interview was going to take over a video call, so on another side, a young 20-ish years old man with bright red hair showed up on another side of the video. Good morning, Mr. Root, the interviewer said. Good morning. You can just call me Connor, he replied. All right. Hi, I'm Connor Root. I live in Black Cherry City, and I am, as of yet, the player with the highest cultivation in eternal cultivation. The interviewer acted shocked when he heard this. If you don't mind us asking, Connor, what is your cultivation at currently? It's at True King 4th Realm. I just broke through yesterday, actually, Connor answered. Oh wow, I heard the highest no cultivation as of yet was in the True Master Realm. Yours just blows that out of the water. Can you tell us how to cultivate it so fast? The interviewer asked. There is really just one reason why I cultivated as fast as I did, and that reason is luck. I was just lucky. That's it. Connor then looked at the camera and pointed at it as he said, You too can become as good as me if you just get a bit lucky. The interviewer's face was blank for a moment. He was expecting an actual answer from the interviewee, yet he just babbled about being this good due to luck. Connor, I think our viewers wouldn't mind learning a bit more as to how you cultivate so fast. The interviewer tried to solve the situation. Ahaha. I'm sorry, I was just joking for a moment. Let me get serious then. Let's see, the reason for why I cultivated so fast, huh? Well, there are many reasons, most of them being actually just luck. But if I had to condense them down to a few then, I would say I cultivated so fast because of 3 reasons exactly. The interviewer seemed happy with this response. He had somehow kept the interview from going into a bad turn. Oh, 3 reasons. I wonder how good these reasons are. If you wouldn't mind, can you tell us what these 3 reasons are? Yes, I can. From what I have learned off of the forums and such, the internet has no idea about this. But you know the body and the status of the players. There are actually grades to these bodies as well. And the first reason as to why I cultivated so fast was because the body I was given in the game was one of the best bodies anyone has ever been given. The body of a cultivator is graded as well. This is the first time I have heard of this. The interviewer was shocked. This was new information he was not expecting to get in this information today. He was genuinely shocked. Alex was shocked too. He hadn't given much thought to his body. He started to wonder what grade his body was. Yes, I found that out a few days ago as I searched the internet trying to learn everyone's body's name. I had my suspicions before, but the searches I made proved my theories. You see, a player is given a random body. Most of the time, it's just called mortal body. People think this just meant the bodies they got was a non-cultivator to start with, but they are wrong. Also, since the Earth grade bodies and Heaven grade bodies do not have the words Earth and Heaven in it doesn't help it either. Only after the Heaven grade does the bodies actually start to have their names in it. The interviewer cued in and asked, "And what body do you have?" My body is an immortal grade body. It's called the Immortal Tyrant body. With this body, I can produce the strength equal to 2 realms above my own realm. Meaning, I can currently produce the strength of a true Tao 6th realm cultivator, he replied. Oh wow, that's one of the reasons for your fast cultivation, huh? What are the other 2 reasons? The interviewer asked. The next 2 reasons can in fact be called the same reason, but since they are different, I decided to call them 2 reasons. And they are the fact that I got an immortal grade cultivation method for self-tempering realm through the gift box, and somehow managed to get a Heaven grade cultivation method for the true realm. Add on to the fact that I bought a lot of QI providing pills using the monsters I hunted, I got to where I am right now. The interviewer was shocked again. Oh wow. You really had a stroke of good luck going into the game, didn't you? What about your talents? Are they any good? It's just a Heaven grade talent. Nothing to call home about. The interviewer then went on to ask other questions, but none of them interested Alex. He closed the video and just sat there thinking. Sun gods divine. Would that be God grade, or is there a grade called divine as well? He was shocked again. The only thing his body could do, he could tell as of now, turn natural common QI into Yang Qi. Yang Qi lasted twice, if not longer than normal QI, and didn't need to be used as much to get the same result. He was already happy to get Yang Qi from his body, but if what the person said was true, then that just wasn't good enough for a God grade body. So was it a divine grade? What else can it do then? He wondered. The 3 roommates soon woke up and they went to eat their dinner. He decided to tell them about what he found out today, but it seemed they had already learned about it during the day. Apparently, they liked to frequently visit the forum and had done just that today during the recess. They lamented that they either had Earth or Heaven grade bodies. Alex also lamented along with them, saying his body was Earth grade too. After dinner, they returned to their room and jumped into the game. Alex logged in his tavern room. He hadn't returned to the game since waking up this morning and was quite eager to hunt once more. He got out of the city and went into the forest through the eastern side once more. From what he understood about the forest, the monster got stronger the deeper one went into it. If you were on the outer edges, you would only find skin-tempering realm monsters. Monsters with muscle-tempering realm only appeared about half an hour into the forest, and only about 2 hours away from that did bone-tempering realm monsters start to appear. He never went that far and only stayed at the edge of it. He had met a few monsters at bone-tempering first realm, but he had managed to win against them with his smiting blade technique. Although it did take more than one strike with smiting blade each time he fought them. Tonight was a moonlit night as always, and Alex had walked about 2 hours into the forest. The monsters he found in this area were muscle-tempering 7th realm to muscle-tempering 9th realm. Changing the place he hunted was a good idea on first thought, but once he realized that many other people hunted as well, it wasn't necessary to go out of his way to find monsters. That said, Alex still changed his path so that he could find more alchemy ingredients. The forest was a treasure trove of alchemy ingredients that no one seemed to have searched for. Or maybe they did but didn't realize which were alchemy ingredients and which were not. A giant bear fell down with a massive cut running across his chest. Alex walked up to the bear and kept its corpse into his inventory. The bear was at the 7th realm of muscle tempering, so he had managed to kill it in one hit. He stood up and walked on ahead, searching for more monsters. Bam! Suddenly, the monster's corpse vanished, and he finally saw what lay behind it. There were 2 ladies, one a little further back than the other. The one that was right beside the monster looked up with surprised eyes and smiled a little as she said, "Fellow Taoists, it seems fate has brought us together again." Alex was surprised to see it was the same 2 girls he met yesterday. Fellow Taoists? Is that what the cultivators call each other? He wondered. He decided to reciprocate the greeting. "It's good to see you once more, fellow Taoist. I don't really think fate has to do anything with us meeting again." He tried to make small talk. "Oh, are you trying to imply that you met us here on purpose then, fellow Taoist?" she asked with a smirk. She knew the answer, but still decided to tease him. Alex's face changed to a brighter shade of red. "Of course not, it was just a random meeting. I just came here because I heard a sound." "Ha ha, you don't need to defend yourself, fellow Taoist. I was just joking." Her laughter made her look even more beautiful. Alex looked a little hurt. "I shall take my leave then," he said as he started to turn around. "Wait a minute, fellow Taoist," she called from behind. "Since we met each other, why don't we hunt together?" She tried to invite him to the group. Alex was surprised. Why would she want me to join? I'm the weakest one here and I'm not even that strong looking. There must be some other reason. "If you want something, you should just ask it, fellow Taoist." He tried to figure out what she wanted. "Quite a sharp one, aren't you?" "Yes, to be honest, fellow Taoist, we do require something," she said as she sighed a little. "Senior sister, you shouldn't." "It's risky to tell him." The girl in the back spoke for the first time tonight. She was about to talk some more when she was interrupted by the other girl's hand gesture. "I think we should introduce ourselves first. I am Luo Mei, and this is Meng Yun. We are disciples of the Tiger Sect." The girl introduced both herself and the girl at the back. "I am Yu Ming. I am a disciple of the Hong Wu sect." He decided to introduce himself as well. "So, you said you wanted something? If it's something I don't mind parting with, I can give it to you," he said. He was slightly worried they might just attack him and take it away forcefully. Luo Mei immediately corrected herself. "Oh no, we don't want something you have. We just want your help in something." "Okay, what do you want my help in?" he asked. "We are at our last leg, so we need the help of an alchemist like yourself." "Please, follow us," she said as she started walking in a certain direction. Along the way, Alex stopped a bunch of times to collect the alchemy ingredients he found. The 2 ladies were very surprised when they saw him pick so many things. Meng Yun softly whispered into Luo Mei's ear as she said, "Senior sister, do you think he knows what we want him to do? He seems to be showing off by randomly picking up ingredients. I think he is a fraud." Luo Mei frowned when she heard this. "That is a definite possibility, but it doesn't look like he is faking it." Some of the ingredients he picked were ones even I recognized. He must be a genuine alchemist who recognizes the ingredients. I hope he recognizes that one too. Luo Mei continued to walk deeper and deeper into the forest. Alex started to get worried. They were now constantly meeting monsters that would definitely be able to kill him easily. But to a mind-tempering realm cultivator like her, these monsters were a piece of cake. She killed every single monster they came across and took all the drops from the monster. Alex didn't mind her behavior as he was already getting enough benefits from the ingredients here. After a short while, she had managed to kill over a few dozen of bone-tempering realm monsters. This was an amount that Alex couldn't even hope to have achieved in all the 3 days he had taken a leave from the sect. And this girl had somehow managed to kill them in less than 2 hours. "We're here," Luo Mei said as she increased her walking speed a little faster. "It's right around here somewhere." Finally, she stopped as she saw a small opening in the forest where there were no trees and only bushes. In front of the bushes was an ox-like monster currently sleeping, meridian tempering 3rd realm. This was a monster that Alex didn't doubt could kill him in a single blow. He was really scared now. He looked at Meng Yun, and she was shivering a little as well. Luo Mei, however, showed no fear, only some irritation at the fact that she had to fight when her goal was so close. She kept her sword in its scabbard on her waist and started moving her arms in a certain manner. Alex looked at her arms and saw QE slowly seep out of her palms. The moment the QI left her body, however, something weird happened. All of the QI started to change as they slowly transformed into water. Alex had unconsciously started focus mode due to his fright, which was why the transformation looked so slow to him. In fact, the transformation happened in a split second. A massive ball of water appeared in front of Luo Mei, which she sent towards the ox. Within seconds, the ox opened his eyes and frantically tried to move. But it couldn't. Luo Mei had already encased the ox in the water ball and was slowly drowning it to death in midair. The ball started to move higher and higher as the ox tried to breathe more and more and failed. Minutes passed by and the ox finally stopped breathing. It was dead. Luo Mei then let go of the water ball, and the entire thing, water and ox, fell to the ground with a loud bang. She then turned to Alex and said, "This is where I need your help, Taoist Yu. This way, fellow Taoist. This is where I require your help," Luo Mei said as she walked forward towards the bushes. She had already kept the ox monster's body in a storage bag. Meng Yun followed behind her unquestioningly. Alex decided to follow as well. Alex reached where they had stopped behind the bushes and was immediately surprised when he saw what it was. Find updates on NO.com. Hidden behind the bushes was an array of multicolored flowers, thousands in number, all naturally arranged to look like a flower bed. The flowers were all normal-looking individually but were a sight to behold when viewed all together. This, however, wasn't the most shocking thing to Alex. The thing he was much more surprised about was what was happening to himself. This feeling, he was starting to feel a very intense pull towards one of the flowers. He recalled the time he had fought the earth snake. He had had the same feeling that time as well. Same feeling. No way! He looked at the flowers and focused. Spirit cleansing lily. It's the same flower. To this day, Alex had covertly tried to find out what this flower was in the sect but had no result. Today, he saw one more and was reminded of his want to have it. He resisted his feeling and looked at Luo Mei. "What do you want me to do, Taoist Luo?" Meng Yun's eyes shot up as she heard him talk to her using her name. Luo Mei, however, didn't give it a single thought. Instead, all of her focus was on the flower bed of spirit cleansing lily. "Do you know what this is, Taoist Yu?" she asked. Alex just simply answered, This is a flower bed, of course." Luo Mei frowned a little and asked once more, "Do you know what this flower bed is?" she asked. Alex saw her frowning face and got scared. He decided to answer properly this time. "I don't know what the flower bed is called, but I know one of the flowers here is the spirit cleansing lily." Hearing the name, Luo Mei's eyes got bright with excitement and hope. "So you do know the name? Does that mean you can choose the right one?" she asked. The right one? Was she talking about finding the exact flower, he wondered. Yes, the right one. "Don't you know that picking the wrong flower makes the entire flower bed wilt?" she asked. "I didn't," he simply answered. "Can you pick the right one then?" she asked once more. "Yes, I can pick the spirit cleansing lily without making a mistake," he said. Hearing his answer, she got even more excited. This was the first time she was showing such expressions. Normally, she was very calm and collected. She took out a storage bag from her side and handed it to Alex. "Check it," she said, gesturing the bag. Treasure. That was the only word Alex could think of when he saw what was inside the bag. There were more monsters and cores in here than what he had collected over the course of the 2 days. And to make things better, all of them were over bone-tempering realm. He breathed in a little and killed his own awe. There must have been a reason why she showed him her loot, so he asked, "What's the meaning of this, Taoist Luo?" As if she was waiting for the question, she answered immediately, "If you can bring me the spirit cleansing lily without wilting the entire flower bed, you can keep that bag." Alex's eyes went wide with excitement now. He could hide his awe, but he couldn't hide his excitement. Still, he tried to keep it on the low and asked her, "Why do you want the lily so bad, Taoist Luo?" Luo Mei frowned. She was worried if she told him the reason, he would just keep it for himself or intentionally try to destroy it. That would be too bad for her. Alex saw her frowning face and said, "Don't be mistaken, Taoist Luo. I will get the flower to you. I am asking because I only know the flower by name and appearance and never learned of its use. So I was hoping you could tell me what the use is." Luo Mei didn't immediately believe him but decided to explain anyway. "Spirit cleansing lily is a precious treasure. If you cultivate overnight with the lily on your body, you will unlock spiritual sense." Meng Yun was surprised her senior sister actually told him the reason. "Well, there is no point in hiding it anyway. You would know about it sooner or later, given your knowledge." Luo Mei continued. Alex frowned. Spiritual sense? He had never seen or heard anyone talk about this, inside or outside the game. What is spiritual sense, Taoist Luo? He asked. She looked at him with a surprised face. Has no one in Hongwu sect told you what it is? She asked. Alex laughed a little and shook his head. Luo Mei explained. Spiritual sense is a type of sense, or ability, that you can use to sense your surrounding using your mind. There are many abilities that you can use your spiritual sense for. The best explanation is probably that it is similar to QI for your brain. Alex had never heard of it, but it sounded good. So, can you get it then? Luo Mei was getting agitated. Alex immediately went to the flower bed and easily plucked the lily and returned. Luo Mei and Meng Yun were shocked to see how simple that looked. They had been dreading this for the entire day since yesterday night when they had found it. And somehow this man managed to pick it within 5 seconds. Just how good was his ingredient recognizing skills? Luo Mei looked at the flower bed and realized he had indeed succeeded. This man must be a high-ranking disciple in the Hongwu sect, she thought to herself. Here you go, Taoist Luo. I hope this fulfills what you required of me. Luo Mei looked at the flower in her hand as tears started streaming down her eyes. Her hands holding the lily were slightly shivering. Alex was surprised to see this. He had expected to see her surprised face, or maybe even eyes bulging out of their sockets. But never had he expected her to just cry. Is spiritual sense really that good? He couldn't help but ask. Luo Mei wiped her tears and answered, Of course it's good. It's something you can only unlock after reaching the Saint Realm. If that's not good, then I don't know what is. Saint Realm? It was his turn to get shocked now. Luo Mei took out a small jade box and kept the spirit cleansing lily in there. She then kept the bag in her storage bag and thanked Alex once more. I will take my leave now, Taoist Yu. I hope we will meet again. She said her goodbyes and started walking back towards the city. Wait, Taoist Luo, he immediately cried out. Luo Mei stopped and looked back. What is it, Taoist Yu? Do you require something now? She asked. Alex looked a little embarrassed and scared as he said, This area is too much for me to handle. Would you mind if I tag along until I got a bit out of the forest? Alex felt like crying at the fact that she just called him weak so nonchalantly. Alchemy is important, but I need to get stronger too, he thought. They walked back in a different direction from the previous one under Alex's request. Along the way, he found many more alchemy ingredients. By now, he had more than half the ingredients for most of the recipes he knew. For some, he even had all the ingredients. He couldn't wait to return and perform some more alchemy. On the way back, a silver fox-like monster appeared before them. Alex read its name, Swift Wolf, Bone Tempering 4 and D Realm. The monster was a realm higher than him. Luo Mei casually took out her sword and slashed it horizontally. The Swift Wolf immediately jumped to the side, but was still grazed by the incoming slash. There was a long gash on its back and was now bleeding into its silver fur. The moment it got hurt, it ran away. It really did live up to its name and was very swift. Should we follow it? Alex asked. No need. Unless that monster finds a monster core of a monster stronger than it, it won't survive my attack. The most it can live for now is 2 days. Luo Mei was very confident in her attack. What does a monster core have to do with other monsters? He asked. Monsters cultivate very slowly, so one way to cultivate faster for them is to hunt down other monsters and eat their cores. Similarly, when they are hurt, eating other monsters' cores helps them heal as well. But the monster core should also come from a relatively high-level monster for it to work. Otherwise, it would have to eat many low cultivation monsters. Luo Mei replied. I see. Alex was grateful for her teaching him different things. After a while, they were nearly out of the forest when all 3 of them stopped. There was noise in front of them. Suddenly, a green-robed young man appeared from behind the trees. He was surprised to see the 3 of them as well. He saw a single outer disciple among the 2 yellow-robed females. Are they threatening him? Is he in trouble? Junior brother, do you need any help? He tried to see if he was being forced by them or walking on his own accord. He looked at Meng Yun's robe and was surprised to see a blue lining. Intersect disciple of Tiger Sect. He was surprised. He doubted he could take her on if the junior disciple really needed help. He then turned to look at Luo Mei. The moment he saw her red linings, his eyes went wide. Alex decided to answer, Thank you, but I don't need any help, senior brother. These fellow Taoists are taking me out of the forest since it was dangerous for me. Is that so? Then I shall take my leave. He bowed towards Luo Mei a bit and ran off. What's up with him? Alex was confused. Meng Yun looked at the young man running away and was surprised. She walked up to Luo Mei and slowly whispered in her ears, "Senior sister, that man's robes are darker in color than this guy's." Luo Mei was surprised when she heard this. She immediately compared the robes and realized Alex's robes were lighter in shade. She knew what this meant. "Taoist Yu, is that man a core disciple from your sect?" she asked. "Don't think so. He should be an inner disciple." Alex thought of nothing when he heard this question. "Find updates on enro velbencom." Luo Mei's eyes went wider. "Then why are you calling him senior brother? What else would I call an inner sect disciple? Anything else from an outer sect disciple like me would be considered disrespectful," Alex simply replied. Luo Mei was surprised. "An outer sect disciple? No way. He is so talented. Even in our sect, a bone-tempering realm cultivator would automatically become an inner sect disciple. How is he still an outer sect with his amazing ingredients-finding ability? Should I try to rope him in?" she thought. "Why aren't you an inner sect disciple already, Taoist Yu?" She decided to tread the waters slowly. "I haven't completed the requirements for becoming an inner sect disciple yet." Luo Mei was surprised. "A bone-tempering realm cultivator like you doesn't meet the requirement. What are the requirements then?" she asked. "Oh, I just have to make 10 different recipes mortal grade pills, that's all." Alex didn't hide anything. "I see. And how many have you made so far?" she asked meekly. "Well, as of yet, only one," Alex replied. Luo Mei's eyes became bright as she thought of something. Bone-tempering realm cultivator with only one pill made so far? His talents in alchemy must be very bad. "Taoist Yu, come join the Tiger Sect. I can immediately make you a core disciple and give you heaven-grade cultivation methods, techniques, and weapons. The sect will also take care of all your other necessities as well. All you will have to do is go on a venture with our sect elders and help them find alchemy ingredients from deep in the southern forest," she said, trying to tempt him to join the Tiger Sect. Alex was surprised at the offer that came out of nowhere. He smiled a little and said, "Thank you for the offer, Taoist Yu, but I will have to decline. I wish to learn alchemy, and I don't think I will be able to pursue it as well as I currently am if I join the Tiger Sect. But look at you. You are already at bone-tempering realm and have only managed to make a single pill. I think you should give up on making pills, Taoist Yu." She tried to reason with him some more. "It's fine. I only made a single pill so far, because earning contribution points in the first week as an outer sect disciple takes a lot of time." Alex tried to decline politely. Luo Mei thought she heard wrong. "Can you repeat that, Taoist Yu?" "Oh, I said that my first week as an outer sect disciple took me a lot to earn points. Which is why I was only able to make a single type of pill," Alex repeated. Luo Mei asked inquisitively, "Are you saying that it's only been a week since you joined the Hongwu sect?" "Yeah, maybe 8 days, but not more. I did make my first pills 2 days ago," he said. Luo Mei gave a wry smile as she asked, How long have you been pursuing alchemy, Taoist Yu?" Let's see. I believe it was the day after I started cultivating, so 9 days now. I took the entrance test for Hongwu sect on the day I learned about alchemy." Luo Mei's eyes were wide open. Even Meng Yun on the behind couldn't keep her stoic appearance anymore. He entered the sect 9 days ago and managed to make a pill in 7 days. What sort of alchemy monster is this? She thought. She repeated what he had just said in her head and her eyes went even wider. Her voice was quivering as she hoped she had heard wrong. Taoist Yu. Did you just imply that you started cultivating 10 days ago? She asked. Yes, Alex answered without thinking. And then he realized what he had said while going in the flow of the conversation. Stay, I accidentally revealed a bit too much, he thought. Now I must really ask you to join our tiger sect, Taoist. No, brother Yu. She started to rope him in even more. We will give you everything you ask for, brother Yu. Just join our sect. She hoped he would change his mind. Alex frowned a little. Please stop this, Taoist Luo. I will not join your sect. I joined the Hongwu sect to learn alchemy, and I will continue doing so. Please don't embarrass yourself any further. Explore up-to-date stories at novel.com. Luo Mei stopped talking. Not even Meng Yun said anything when she heard this. She knew Luo Mei was in the wrong this time. Alex took this opportunity and said, Thank you for letting me walk with you till here. I should be able to leave on my own now. Hence, I shall part with you, fellow Taoists. May we meet again. He started walking away. Luo Mei and Meng Yun stood there not knowing what to do. She really wanted to have him join her sect, but she couldn't use force as that would only worsen the situation. Senior sister, what do we do now? Meng Yun asked from the side. There is nothing else we can do, so we should leave this task to someone who can do something, she said. Luo Mei looked at the disappearing figure of Alex and said, Come on, let's go. I need to tell my master about him. He should be able to convince him. Both of them then disappeared into the forest. Alex hunted for a few more hours. Although he didn't need to hunt monsters anymore after what the two ladies had given him, he still wanted to find more alchemy materials. He started ignoring skin-tempering realm monsters and only fought at anything above muscle tempering. He was so focused on finding the ingredients that he forgot to log out for breakfast as well. Doesn't matter, I will just go for lunch directly, he thought. After a couple of hours of more hunting, he returned to his room in the tavern. He looked at the time, and it was 10 a.m. He logged out and went to get a shower. He left the bathroom a little while later and decided to wait for his two roommates. Matt had a morning class, so he was already gone. Once Logan and Eric logged out, they went to the cafeteria together and had their lunch. Afterward, they went to their individual classes. Alex paid as much attention as he could in the class, but the business statistics class was just too boring for him. Finally, once the classes were over, he went to the cafeteria to get his afternoon lunch. Afterward, he did his assignments and other works until it was time for dinner. Once the dinner was over, he finally went into the game. He logged into his room at the tavern. Do I go back to the sector hunt some more? He wondered. It took him a while, but they finally decided to hunt some more. Since he took a 3-day leave from the sect, it would be impossible to get another one anytime soon. So he had to make the best of his last day out of the sect.